I'm really excited about the next guest because Tracy G was, for a while has been telling me about, this Shawn Stevenson, who's our next guest, and she blessed me with his book, and she knows how I am about health. I'm trying to figure it out, and we like to always have these educational conversations with folks to reach our audience because we all are dealing with something. And this man Shawn Stevenson, he's a national bestseller, U.S. Today, with Eat Smarter and Sleep Smarter, and the dude is a great author. He's a great podcaster. He has a #1 podcast, The Model Health Show. He's reaching millions of people all the time, Heather B. And I'm looking for the remedy. I want to feel better. I want to look better. I want to eat better. Welcome to the show, the one and only Shawn Stevenson.
Shawn! What's up, Double S?
Let's go, the remedy. How you guys
doing?
Yo, that's your nickname now, Shawn. You the remedy.
I accept it. I receive it.
You like that?
I love it.
That's accurate.
Well, welcome to the show. It's something we've been wanting to do, and I've had a chance to really go through your book, man. Eat Smarter, Use the Power of Food to Reboot Your Metabolism, Upgrade Your Brain, which what I was most interested in, and transform your life. And just reading through this book, and it's a thick book, but every page is meaningful, And how long it took you to put together this book?
Well, the real answer is 19 years, that I've been in this field, but the writing process itself did take a couple of years. There's over 500 studies. But the key is making it fun, making it approachable, and making it understandable for our communities. So, yeah, I put a lot into it.
Okay. Now, and Tracy, what was it about Shawn that, you were just steadfast? We got to get Shawn on. When did you first discover Shawn?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like so many other people through the Model Health Show years ago. And it was me just doing my own research, wanting to find someone who was from our community, from the Black community, and someone who wasn't just like an overnight guru. You know what I mean? Someone who didn't just spend like 2 days in a deep Google dive and then call themselves an expert in wellness. Like Shawn is so good and capable of breaking down the complexities of the human body into easy to digest facts. No pun on the digest. And so I've just appreciated him so much. And especially when it comes to, I know you said, Sway, looking at food to help with training your brain, and memory is something that I have a focus on, but also with using food to help me with my rest. I think that we are in the midst of a sleep revolution right now, where people are getting outside of that, all hustle everything type mode, and understanding that sleep restoration is a part of the hustle. The same way how stretching before a workout and, making sure that you stretch after a workout is just as important to muscle growth as lifting the weights. So I'm happy that he's finally here so we can hear him on Sway in the Morning.
All right. Well, let's get some questions going. Shawn, we can ask anything, right?
That's right. I'm an open book. Let's do it.
All right. I'm going to open up these phone lines, 888-742-3345. Shawn, you're a national bestseller. Which book has made you the most money?
Hey, I said I'm an open book. The first book, Sleep Smarter, became an international bestseller. So it's published in, it's in Japan and bookstores, in Germany and Slovenia and, South America. So it's been crazy. It really kind of sparked this sleep revolution that's taking place right now, as Tracy mentioned. And, in my clinical practice, like, you can get the best mattress, you can get your blackout curtains. I talked about all this stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you're not eating the foods that build your sleep-related hormones and neurotransmitters, you're really missing the point, because our bodies and these processes are made of specific nutrients. And if I could drop a couple of nutrients for people to target.
Absolutely. Please do. I got the pen right here.
All right. Perfect. So one of the first ones, and some of these might sound very familiar, but we're going to just take it to another level today. So everybody knows about tryptophan, right? We tend to think about it in terms of, the itis, after Thanksgiving dinner from the turkey. But tryptophan is actually a building block of melatonin, right? And so we know melatonin is kind of our glorified sleep hormone. So tryptophan is critical in building the hormones that help you to sleep. And yes, turkey is a decent source of tryptophan, but what about folks doing a plant-based approach? So great sources of tryptophan, you need to get some in every day because, again, it builds your sleep-related hormones. Turkey, chicken, lobster, eggs, but then plant-based sources like chocolate is a good source of tryptophan, spinach, pumpkin seeds, spirulina, like a dense green algae. So there's a lot of sources, and this is just some of them, but we need to make sure we're targeting tryptophan every single day. And I'll share one more real quick because this one's important too. Vitamin C is critical to building your sleep-related hormones. We know it's important for our immune system, but one of the studies that I cited in Eat Smarter was published in the journal PLOS One, found that insufficient intake of vitamin C directly decreases your sleep quality and creates more sleep disturbances, causing you to wake up more often at night. So getting patients I was working with, getting their vitamin C levels up, oftentimes help to reverse some of the issues they're dealing with insomnia.
Shawn Stevenson is here. It's interesting you say that because I wake up a lot at nighttime. I've been trying to figure that out, and perhaps it's that vitamin. Why are you laughing, Heather? Maybe it could be these things. So I'm going to practice these things. But how much sleep should we get? There's been this on-age debate about 6 hours, 8 hours. What's proper sleep?
Yeah, there's no cookie cutter answer, and I can't stand that because everybody's unique. And really sleep is more so of a requirement of also your lifestyle. So if you're under a lot of stress, if you're working out, if you just, even learning, a big part of our memory processing takes place while you're asleep. So if you're doing a lot of studying, it's going to require your body to need more sleep. So, but the range could be anywhere from ideally 6 to potentially 9 hours. Like LeBron James, he focused on getting about 9 hours of sleep. Whereas when we see under 6 hours is where we start to see a big increase in the incidence of degenerative diseases and chronic diseases like diabetes and obesity, because a lot of those processes that are controlling our metabolism really get kind of reset while we're sleeping. So between 6 and 9 depends on you, depends on your lifestyle. But most important, Sway, is the quality of the sleep you get when you're sleeping. That's the key, being able to go through your sleep cycles efficiently. And again, a big driving force of that is our nutrition.
Right.
Can I get one more?
Yeah, go for
let
it.
me get one more. I'm gonna jump out of it because I'm falling in love with Shawn's voice. What do you got, an HD mic over there, Shawn? Yeah, I'm gonna jump out, let Tracy and Heather. But you got me because you talk about food and cognitive performance and how you could properly nourish the brain. What are some of which foods and nutrients are proven to enhance memory and focus? That's what I need to touch on.
Oh, this is perfect, man. This is perfect. The first question is asking, what is my brain actually made of? So when we're talking about all the parts of the brain, the dendrites, the axon terminals, the gray matter, the white matter, it's all made from food. And more importantly, it's made from water. About 80% of your brain is water. It's the most water-dominant organ in our bodies. And so one of the studies that I broke down in Eat Smarter, we found that just a 2% drop in your body's baseline hydration level led to direct cognitive decline, a loss of things like executive function, like being able to do simple mental math and being able to a reduction in our reaction time and coordination. Basically, we get dumber when we get dehydrated. All right. So a lot of folks, even in my field, some of my colleagues, they're looking for that. What's that new thing for brain function, for cognitive performance? The first and foremost, the most important thing is hydration, because your brain has specific gates, like if you want to think about it like a toll booth, that allow us express entry into the brain for water. So that's number one. We want to make sure that we're meeting our hydration needs. And a quick tip for that, every single day for the past 15 years, when I get up in the morning, I do what I take an inner bath. So I drink about 20 to 30 ounces of water to start my day, because the day can get away from you. And plus, a little benefit is something called water-induced thermogenesis. Basically, what that means is water increases your caloric burn just by drinking about 17 ounces of water, as far as the studies have shown. Can boost your rate of calorie burn by 10 or 15% instantly. All right, so it's a good way to start the day. So that's number one, is hydration. Number two, I'll share one more. And I want everybody listening, you really got to take this seriously. This is very, very important. Our brains, when we talk about after water, the next thing that it's made of is fat, but a specific type of fat, omega-3 fatty acids. These are structural fats that literally create brain plasticity and structure for your brain cells and allow your brain cells to talk to each other. So this is kind of important. Now, the omega-3s you need is DHA and EPA, not ALA. In my practice 10 years ago, I'd tell people that any type of omega-3 is fine. ALA is what you find in plant sources, like chia seeds, flax seeds. That's okay, but it doesn't create your brain cells like DHA and EPA that you're going to find, and I'm going to give some sources really quickly. Number one, food first. The highest source we see is through fish. And one of the studies that I cite in the book from the journal Neurology found that just one seafood meal per week did enable test participants to perform significantly better on cognitive skills tests than people who are getting less than one seafood meal per week. So food first, then we got fish oil, we got krill oil, which is a microscopic shrimp. And if you're doing a vegan or vegetarian protocol, today you need to get yourself some algae oil to get a good source of DHA and EPA. Last thing I'm going to say, why this matters, one of the most incredible studies we found, if you're not getting enough DHA, the test subjects who got the least amount of DHA in their diet had the fastest rate of brain shrinkage, all right? And this isn't shrinkage like, Sway, like if it's cold outside or you in a cold tub or something and you get the shrinkage.
Yeah.
This is like literally mess up your brain shrinkage. You could come back from that. If it get warmer, you could bounce back from that shrinkage. This is like permanent brain damage. DHA and EPA, these omega-3s are so important to protect our brain, that could protect our ability to think clearly, to manage our feelings and our emotions. This is a big omega-3 deficiency in our culture, and I want everybody to start addressing this because it really matters.
Thank you, Shawn.
Shawn Stevenson. Yes.
Listen, bruh, this man really knows it. This is the truth. Shawn, I'm so interested in hearing your thoughts, and you speak about this at length in your book in terms of how alcohol plays a factor in restlessness at night. I'm also thinking about it in terms of our brain's full capacity, because alcohol can dehydrate the brain, and if the brain is the most water-dominant organ, it's interesting how alcohol can play an effect to make you go backwards. But a lot of people will have, like a nightcap before bed, and I noticed that you said you should, not that there's anything wrong with having a glass, but maybe mindfully have one 2 hours before bed to help your body to just fully digest it, and then have a lot of water with it as well. Can you just speak about maybe some of the sneaky ways that alcohol, and it's not when you're abusing it, but when you're having it more regularly, can be detrimental?
Absolutely. This is so important because this is real. Our consumption of alcohol has really skyrocketed since all the shutdowns have happened. And, a lot of folks know this, but some folks might not be aware. They might not even be aware of their behavior. It's just one of those things that we tend to lean on, and just to de-stress, just to, have a certain vibe. And that's okay. This is not a knock against it. This is just the science behind it. And so there's 5 macronutrients. We usually hear about 3, proteins, fats, carbohydrates, but also water is a macronutrient and alcohol is a macronutrient. Your body can use alcohol as energy to run processes. But here's the rub. This is the catch. When we drink alcohol, we cannot store alcohol like we can store the other things. So your body will stop burning fat and immediately start using alcohol for fuel. It's a process called fat sparing. So this is one of the kind of dominoes that starts that process of weight gain that we see associated with heavy alcohol consumption. So we're just wondering, how does this happen, the beer belly? One of these things is something called, again, fat sparing. It changes what our metabolism is doing. And as far as our sleep is concerned, one of the studies that I shared, we do, in fact, fall asleep faster when you have some alcohol close to bedtime. Yes, it absolutely does help you sleep. But the problem is it damages our sleep cycles. It creates something called a REM rebound effect, where it suppresses your REM sleep. And your REM sleep is where a lot of your memory processing takes place. So taking what people are learning right now and converting it into your short-term memory. That movie, The Hangover, where they straight couldn't remember things? It's not necessarily just because of the drug or the alcohol. It's because of what it does to your sleep and your ability to make the memory. All right? So this is very important. So yes, it can help you to sleep faster, but it's going to damage your sleep quality inherently. So, yeah, 2 quick tips is, number one, nature's solution to pollution is dilution. All right, there's a little quip there.
Bars.
But
That's
basically
bars.
bars. Basically, drinking water helps to dilute the alcohol faster. So, and also the second thing is just give yourself a little bit of an alcohol curfew. Like if you plan on getting to bed at, say, 11 o'clock, try and cut it off by, say 9 p.m. Just give your body a couple of hours, because your body processes alcohol very quickly. And also that water helps your body to kind of metabolize it and get it out of your system quicker.
Wow, that's Shawn Stevenson. Shawn Stevenson is here. Eat smarter. Use the power of food to reboot your metabolism, upgrade your brain, and transform your life. I'm gonna take some calls. Heather, were you taking notes about the alcohol when he was talking about the alcohol?
No, Shawn, don't let them do that to you about me, because I'm the happy. I'm the happy hour with Heather B, and that's my brand. I teach people how to, entertain and make cocktails or mocktails at home. But it's interesting to me, Shawn, everything that you're saying, because my father used to call it a gift for me. I've never had a problem with resting. I'm probably one of the most well-rested people ever. I think that sleep is very people just take it for granted, and it's underrated. And I think that you should rest. Your bedroom should be proper, your sheets and mattress, everything. So I totally agree with everything you're saying. That's the reason why I'm just quiet, because I've sort of been living by, what you're saying for as long as I can remember. I think rest is super important. All this, I'll sleep when I die. I've never been like a fan of that. I just think rest is important.
Yeah, thank you. And that belief, I'll sleep when I'm dead, you're just going to die faster. Real
Right.
talk, real talk. But it's, like you said, it's so overlooked and underappreciated in our culture. But again, this is shifting. There's a big change happening, but for myself, as I mentioned in the very beginning, I'm very passionate about getting this information into our communities. I'm from Ferguson, Missouri. So that's where I was when I was in college. I'm commuting, trying to just process and digest the entire lifestyle that I was dealing with, and not having access. All I needed to do was just know what was possible. All I saw was struggle every single day. When I go outside, and I never even met anybody that graduated from college. So even me doing that process, well, except maybe my professors, but just going through that process, all I had to do was get tapped into what creates health. What is my body made of? Why does food matter? I just didn't know. Growing up on food stamps, on the WIC program, and then seeing today, and this is what I talk about in the book as well in Eat Smarter, the Journal of the American Medical Association, this is our most prestigious journal, tracked the consumption of the foods that our government subsidizes, which they spent $200 billion in subsidy products that show up through fast food windows and through the processed food that my family ate every meal. And they found that the folks who had the greatest consumption of the foods that the government is paying for us to eat had a 40% greater incidence of being obese. It's literally feeding the problem and making us sick. Our government, when I say our government, I'm saying we're paying for it. That's our tax dollars that pay for that food that's making us sick. So I just needed an opportunity to see what was possible. And so I'm very, very passionate about that.
That's so powerful that you say that. Shawn Stevenson is here. I'm going to take your phone calls. And listen, you may not be able to get in because the phones are lit up and we only have a few more minutes. But if you could follow Shawn on social. And, Shawn, give out your social for folks to follow you.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm at Shawn Model, SHAWN, Model on IG and on Twitter as well.
Okay, man. Arnold from New Hampshire, quick question. Go
Hey,
for
Arnold.
it, man. Grand Risings.
Hey, how y'all doing? Shawn, I got a question for you. My health is great. I eat well, but I smoke weed. I don't use it, but like you guys were talking about sleep, I use it so I can have a full night's sleep. But I notice when I don't smoke weed, I dream. I have great dreams, but when I smoke weed, I don't. So am I hurting my health by continuing smoking?
Wow, thank you for that question, man. And I'm sure a lot of people wonder this thing. So in my practice, I work with folks who had, they would smoke just so they could sleep well at night, And And so one of my colleagues, and he actually has the front quote on my book, Dr. Daniel Amen, he has the largest database of something called SPECT imaging. So actually looking at the brain instead of just guessing that there might be something wrong. And he has this massive study finding how smoking weed, especially chronically, right? It's not, again, like here and there, or even their CBD products, there's so much potential benefit. But once we become incredibly dependent on it, it starts to create accelerated aging in the brain. All right, so we just have to be mindful of that. You know, overabuse of anything can hurt us. So, and as far as your questions specifically, maybe, you know, with sleep and your dreams, this is giving you a direct indication on how it is affecting your cognitive performance and your brain. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. You know, you got to kind of map it out and see and weigh the cost benefit analysis for yourself. But if you feel, because you're calling in right now, if you feel like, hey, maybe I'm relying too heavily or leaning too heavily on this substance, you know, maybe it's time for us to start to add in some other things that bring you joy, that bring you peace, that help to reduce stress, that create that vibe of peace and kind of, you know, happiness and focus or whatever it is that we're looking for with that particular substance. So I hope that helps.
That helps, right, Arnold?
Yeah, that helps. I always hope, man. I'm talking to Sway, so.
hey, man. Yeah, it's a win-win. You're a citizen.
What's up? Sway morning.
This is so interesting. You know, that weed question is popular here at Shade 45. And that aging, do you think, is there ways to reverse the aging on the brain?
Absolutely. That's the beautiful thing about us. We're so resilient, and our brain is incredibly resilient. But, you know, like I mentioned earlier, the biggest deficiency that's hard to come back from is a deficiency in DHA and EPA, omega-3s. But, yeah, what he's seen on those scans is that simply by backing off, you know, for example, what the SPECT imaging is blood flow to the brain in specific areas of the brain. So we can increase that, improve that blood flow. But the big thing is moving away from the thing that's causing the suppression of the blood flow. But then we can add in, there's so many wonderful things that we could do to enhance and reverse any kind of damage. So, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, y'all. We got Maya on the line from Los Angeles. Grand Risings, Maya.
Hey, Maya.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I just have two quick questions because I know you guys got to go. My son, who is an athlete, he is really into eating just protein right now, and I feel like he's not eating enough because he's still growing. He's 17, and I feel like he still has room to grow. So I'm pushing him to eat more, and he's really all about eating clean. And I'm just wondering if that's hurting his growth by just eating a lot of protein and not more fatty stuff. He doesn't eat vegetables. That's the problem, too.
Yeah. Listen, I've got a son, a 20-year-old son, and I got a 9-year-old son. And so I know my son right now, my oldest son, he plays football, so he's been all about that for quite some time. But also there's just a balance there, too. So number one, protein is the most important as far as the building blocks of our muscle tissue, of our cellular structure. Protein is incredibly important. So that's great, especially if he's eating clean, eating good sources of protein. But for his performance, and I just leaned into this with my son and also his teammates on his football team to make sure that they're getting in the other nutrients that they need, you know. And so if he's not doing the vegetables, like my son, he'll make a smoothie every day and just put, like, you know, some spinach in there, for example, and, you know, or some kale, right? Find creative ways to, like, sneak that into their body because he needs minerals, vitamins, omega-3 fatty acids. He especially needs omega-3 fatty acids to really, like, anchor in, not just to build muscle, but to retain the muscle tissue. So, yeah, make sure just eat smarter and just add in a couple of those things. And also it's really good to come from another voice sometimes because as a parent, there's a statement that you can't be a prophet in your own land, you know, so sometimes people around you might not listen to you. So bringing in another perspective, another voice can be really helpful.
Thank you. And one more question just for me, if you don't mind. I have a lot of my ears ring a lot, especially if I have a glass of wine or something. Is that something is there anything I could do about it? Like, I haven't drank the whole January, but my ears are still ringing, like when I go to sleep at night.
Were you diagnosed with tinnitus?
No, my doctor said I went and checked it and I was fine. So I'm just wondering, maybe I don't think I drink enough water. So maybe today I'm definitely going to drink a lot of water after speaking with you.
Okay. So listen, this is wonderful. if you listen to somebody speak, they will often tell you the cause and cure of what's going on with them. So she immediately just said, you know what, I don't drink enough water. And guess what? Those tiny bones in our ears that create the conductivity for us to, create the electrical signals where we're hearing, that whole process, it's made from food and it's made from water and hydration.
Yeah.
So, we got to get those basic needs covered. Make sure you're getting your hydration right. Make sure you're getting the essential nutrients, vitamins, minerals, and again, especially your omega-3 fatty acids to really support and create healthy structures. And also, of course, just moving on from that really, really quickly is anything to do with the ears and any kind of ringing in the ears, you want to make sure that it's not tinnitus or, there's other kind of like more rare conditions, but it sounds like it's situation-based. So just being cognizant of the situation that might be causing the ringing in the ears, just paying attention to the body and your triggers, and you can manage this.
Hey, Maya.
Thank you for your knowledge. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, Maya, you should get the book. Buy the book. It's a great book.
I'm definitely getting the book. Getting the book.
Okay, there you go.
LA Traffic, so I'm going to get the audio version and just listen to it. So
there you go. Okay, and then you also listen to his podcast, too. So make sure you listen to the Model Health Show, okay, while you're driving on the 405. All right, you're a citizen.
I'm on the 405 right now. How'd you know that?
Yeah, that's what, hey, I got that cognitive reflex. I've been eating my nutrients.
Yes,
I felt it. Okay. All right, you're a citizen.
You know what? That's why in the morning.
I took Sean's advice. Now I'm telepathic.
Let's go.
Shawn, can I formally request that you become a guest, a reoccurring guest on our show? This was awesome to have these conversations, so we could talk about all the things you're doing, promote everything you do. But thank you for feeding our audience with all this wonderful information.
Awesome. It will be my honor. You guys are legends, so it's totally my honor.
Okay, there it is, man. Shawn Stevenson, he's a citizen.
That's why in the morning.
Come
Appreciate
on, man.
you, Shawn.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, and follow him at Shawn Model. That's ShawnModel. Listen to the Model Health Show. Get the book, Eat Smarter. Get the book, Sleep Smarter. Shawn, have a great day, bro. Great conversation.
All right. You too.
Thank
Take care.
All right, Shawn, man, Stevenson, Sway in the Morning, Shade 4-5, man. Because we're talking about sleep, and I don't get a lot of dreams unless I play this song right here, Sway in the Morning.
Nobody know it.
I could change the world, but I'm a dreamer.